Well. Interesting news over the weekend from a vice president over at PlayStation. Now, before I get into the story, obviously this doesn't necessarily implicate PlayStation or Sony as a company in any way, but I do find it pretty interesting who's covering it and who's choosing not to cover it. Specifically, a video game website, IGN, which is, you can't spell ignorant without IGN type, websites that survive exclusively on being like, how do I say this? Like bot report. They're just PR outlets. They're not actual games journalism, where they're outright refusing to cover the story. I'd say it's a pretty big deal. A 64-year-old senior vice president over at PlayStation was literally caught in 4K going to meet up with someone who is far too young. Literally caught on tape. PlayStation executive now fired after a new video releases where he's having a conversation with somebody he absolutely shouldn't be. George, I don't really know how to pronounce that last name, was senior vice president at Sony Interactive Entertainment, who worked in engineering and on the PlayStation Store since 2013. He has now been terminated from that position after he reportedly appeared over the weekend in a new sting operation video. People versus Preds, a vigilante group who attempt to catch and make public men engaging in terrible stuff, claimed they had impersonated someone and he was going to meet them. He was using a fake name, a fake alias known as Jeff on a dating app. After discussions, they decided to meet up at, quote, Jeff's home. The video began with a member of the group approaching the home and greeting a man by the name of Jeff, who opens the door wearing a PlayStation 5 t-shirt, before having the door closed in their faces after revealing the purpose of filming. While on the video, the video on its own shows no actual crimes and cannot confirm his identity. They've also posted a number of screenshots they say detail the arrangements for the encounter, which include a selfie of him wearing the exact same shirt that Jeff is wearing in the video. CNET now reports that senior vice president has been fired, with a Sony representative saying in a statement, "We are aware of the situation and the employee in question has been terminated from employment." Meanwhile, a representative from the YouTube channel tells Kotaku that the reason this information was released publicly rather than handled directly to authorities was that the PD doesn't work with cyber groups like us. That's when the internet takes over. However, they also say that they have turned everything over. Now, this does bring up, an interesting conundrum. This isn't the first time, people have, got caught in 4K by these, YouTube channels that pose as somebody they shouldn't be talking to, and then they show up recording them. Most recently, famously, we had EDP show up, and he was bringing a cupcake to meet somebody he shouldn't be meeting. And the problem is, when you get to the courts for this kind of stuff, most of the ways that they kind of ensnare these people won't stand up in the court of law. So local police and stuff of that nature generally frown upon this kind of justice because they can't make any charges stick. But it does leave you in this weird spot where it's like, well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to just ignore this? In a way, there are social penalties for this kind of stuff. You can see here they live streamed it, and here's the chat logs. And these are pretty obvious, I would say. You can see a lot of the screens here. Near UTC, you've done this or you've done this before. How old were you? Oh, it's been to UTC mall before. Oh, I've been to that mall. Yeah, I've been super curious lately. I was with a friend the other day and he enjoyed meat. Nice. Did you finish for him? Yeah, LOL. In his mouth? Yeah, he asked for it. Haha. Nice. This guy is 64 years old. I mean, these are the, they're sending pictures of their junk, got photos. Here's a picture of himself wearing the same shirt. Um, you know, I don't really understand or care. You like younger, where are you located? Talking about, the question is, did he know how old the person was? That's really up to whether or not, these, if it's in these chat logs or not, because you have two different conversations with this decoy. And it really depends, if he knew exactly the ages when they met up. Curiously, though, they probably did, because, that's just, you see pictures. There he is in the PlayStation shirt, literally wearing the same shirt. It's so weird. I mean, like, these creeps are out there. I mean, insane. If you're watching the video, I mean, you're seeing the chat logs come up, and it's nuts. When you see the actual video, it's here's a 64-year-old engineer, invited someone over at 4:30 in the morning.
Hey, how's it going? Good.
Good.
Are you Jeff? Hey, what's up, Jeff? How's it going? Doing good. Who you out here to meet tonight, Jeff?
Whoopsie.
Jeff, we can have a conversation, or I can call the cops, Jeff.
Oopsie.
Jeff, I can call the cops, or we can have a conversation.
No.
You want it, Jeff?
Oops.
You want to have a conversation, Jeff?
Oopsie. Now, the question's going to be and whether or not you can prove if he thought that the person was young, 14 or whatever the case is, or 15. But it doesn't look good. You see, what is it about becoming wealthy? This via Gunderson over on Louder with Crowder. What is it about becoming wealthy that makes these people turn into these demented weirdos? There must be some connection. Or maybe just a few of them feel invincible, like they're above the law, and choose stuff to prove it. Who knows? But whatever it is, it happens. A senior vice president of engineering for Sony was fired because of, well, terrible behavior. It was known, so he's running on this little app. He was prowling for people in the app when he came across the wrong, quote, kid. As it turned out, he wasn't talking to someone who he thought. He was talking to people who... people behind People versus Preds, and he was masquerading as someone who did just turn 15. Okay, so there you go. After messaging back and forth, the contents of which are rather gross, and after the boy had informed him multiple times that he was, okay, here we go, 15 then, he attempted to meet up with him at his house in San Diego and was subsequently caught on camera. After the video came out, Sony terminated the guy. It may just be me, although I don't believe it. It'd just be better place if they were... I'm not going to finish that statement, but you know what I find is interesting? People are asking IGN, which is a super huge like video game journalism outlet. Josh asked, damn, your ego stroking challenge to prove review corruption pales in comparison to not one outlet condemning this guy from PlayStation. That is corruption in the highest form. Weak outlets that can't bite the hand that feed them, do your job. It's pathetic, IGN. Then Dan replies, never heard of him. I bet that's why you aren't seeing anyone cover it. It's a guy no one knows being implicated for things unrelated to his job. If Sony turned out to have known and protected him, or if he'd used his position to do it, that would become game industry news. Really? A guy with unfettered access to kids playing video games being that kind of a creep, is it news? That sounds like some Olympic level, I don't know what you'd call it. Deflection? Idiocy? I'm not exactly sure what you would call it, but it's an outright refusal This guy was in a position of power at a company. In fact, he was on the PlayStation Network, so obviously access to millions and millions of people. No, I don't think that you get out of talking about why this is. It's covered everyone else. Man, these people are out there. All I can say is, oh yeah, he says right here, I'm finally 15, LOL. I think we've talked before. Are you really? So he confirmed it and didn't care. These people are out there. Get involved in your kids if they're using these apps. I don't care if they get mad at your intrusion. These guys like him are out there in their positions of power. They have lots of money, and they will use it to do just this. I hope you're informed by this video, and if you haven't yet, please do click subscribe right down below the video. We'll talk to you again real soon.